virtually.
We are here, guys. We
What
are
up?
here. Normally the camera's like here. We are here today.
I have to correct my neck. You think this will be?
We are here. Oh my God, do ASMR with your neck.
Do you think it'll come through? You think that came through?
Oh my God. Yeah, that is crazy. We're like looking at ourselves in a monitor up here.
I feel like I'm not used to seeing myself.
I know, me neither.
Dynamic range, video,
Yeah.
time code 193102.
Oh, I need to take a sip of this.
While she takes a sip, I'm going to tell you guys a story about today. Fun story.
I'm listening.
I woke up this morning.
Imagine that was it. That was the whole story.
That's it, actually. I was just stalling for time. I didn't actually have a story to tell. But you took your sip a lot longer than expected.
Well, I took 2 sips. That's why.
And I have to tell
Anyways.
twice as long as the story.
Anyways, let's do story time.
We did actually, today we went to have Minas, which is a Brazilian
Oh my God.
churrascaria around here.
Yes.
Churrasco. And we haven't had this place for,
In a long time.
it's been like a couple months.
No, like I feel like it was since the beginning of the year, honestly.
It's been a couple
Like,
months, more than a
maybe
couple months.
March.
And we used to go to this place like
Weekly.
E-
Almost daily.
Yeah, almost daily for a while.
Spending way too much
It's
on lunch
expensive.
every day.
I'll tell you that. If
Bro.
you're spending $40 to $50 there
Oh my God, it's so
for
good, though.
lunch.
Yeah, it's
For
wild
lunch.
actually. But a lot of times you could get kind of like 2 meals if
Yes,
you
that's true.
build your bowl right.
That's
you
true.
know.
So I guess that's in some if you're
Or-
able, if you have the self-control to say I'm going to save this for later, then it's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
but it's just so good.
but it's
Well,
so
I have
good.
to fix this because it's I don't. There we go. It was coming off and it was bothering me.
So yeah. So I have a story time. I guess that can kind of like lead into this. So this morning
She noticed that
this
she was
morning
self-awareness. I always
you
get her
gotta tell
because
them about this actually. Okay, before we actually get into it today.
I always bring up how when she says this morning, it sounds like this morning, smorning. Like
This
the
morning
S is so
time.
accentuated and it's so long. It's this morning.
Yeah. Well,
But she never noticed that she did that until I brought it up to her. Now she's realizing when she says it I'm right.
yeah. So there's that.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
it.
that. But
It's just a little quirk.
this morning, it feels so unnatural. This morning, I spoke for our school's chapel here at Faith Church.
Faith
It's called
prep.
Faith Prep. I was getting to that. Thank you very much. And so, I was talking about how God is our closest friend. He wants to be our closest friend and all of that kind of stuff, bringing up Proverbs 18:24, that whole premise, and then, just unpacking some verses. But what was hilarious to me was that I brought up this example and this analogy of like when you invite God into the conversation, things start to change, right? Because that's a true principle. It's a spiritual principle. But to explain this because there were 6th graders, it was 6th through 12th grade. So to try and like jazz it up a little bit, just off the cuff, I was like, y'all ever have like group chats? Do any of you guys have group chats? They all raise their hand. They're like, yeah, I'm in a group chat. Yeah. And
They sound like Toad from Mario. All the kids.
And so I was like, y'all know when that one person, that one friend, that one person in the chat enters the chat or they enter the conversation, they finally respond or whatever, and things just start to change. Like things go crazy. Like, it changes the whole tone of the chat. And then they just all start like going off, like cheering, like, yeah, that's you. They're like pointing to their friends like across the row. Like they were like getting so amped up. And I don't know. I just thought that was hilarious. I was not expecting that.
Kids.
Yeah, for
Am
real.
I right?
They were like, that's you. You be sending those memes. You be sending like.
I love memes.
I love memes as well.
Memes make the world go round.
Yeah. Do you remember Vine? I've been thinking about Vine lately.
I never had Vine. Never. I was sanctified from the beginning. Never had it.
Well, sanctification don't have nothing to do with it. It was just a regular app.
Not that regular. Is TikTok regular? No. I'll answer
Semi.
that for you.
But yeah, I was thinking about Vine
I'm
the
hiding
past
my
couple
phone.
weeks.
I just realized.
I used to have, fun story, guys. So my maiden name is Blakely. So when you used to Google, I used to Google my name every once in a while because, you know, you're just curious what happens when you Google your name. And I remember doing this probably like freshman or sophomore year of high school. And then also when I was graduating for whatever reason. And when I tell you the most embarrassing
We should do this right now.
Vine videos,
We should do this right now.
they're not there anymore.
Oh, because Vine doesn't exist. I was going to say, we should just Google.
Praise the Lord. No,
we should
I
Google
kid
each
you
other.
not. So myself, my sister, and my cousin, we would record the cringiest. We would try to recreate like memes, right? Vines and like all that stuff. They were so embarrassing. That was the one reason why I was kind of happy when Vine like got deleted or just like disappeared, because I was like, finally, I won't have these embarrassing
But
videos
you
following
could have
me.
just deleted them at any point.
No, they were deleted, but they were still online.
Oh, the internet is forever. Everyone.
Yeah.
It's forever.
So, fun fact, scary fact, not actually scary. Like it was just so embarrassing more than anything.
As you guys can tell, I'm very tired. That's
Yeah,
like the
I'm
third
as
time
well.
I've yawned, and I don't drink coffee, so that's why I will continue to yawn. I don't want that
All right.
devil's juice.
Well, you want to start us off?
I can.
Yeah.
Would you like me to start off?
Yes, I would. I would
Okay.
appreciate that so much.
Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Jesus. Imagine that. Christian podcast talking about Jesus.
Jesus.
We're going to talk about Jesus in reference to being our closest friend. And
the same thing as this morning.
yeah, I thought you said that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Your tone kind of sounded surprised. So I was like, wait, did I talk about the wrong thing?
No.
So we're going to start with Proverbs 18:24. That's in your Bible, everyone.
Yeah.
If you don't have a Bible, get a Bible.
If you don't have a Bible and there's anyone watching on YouTube or somewhere where you can comment, I don't have a Bible, and maybe we can try and send you one. That would be kind of cool.
I can send you one right now, actually, and I'll help you. Here's what you do. There's an app called Bible, by YouVersion. Get that and read something like, read the NIV, read the NLT. Don't start King James. Don't do that to yourself.
NASB.
Don't do New King James either. You're going to hurt yourself. Even NASB is a little... Read the NLT, read the NIV. Pick one of those as your favorite. All right. What verse did I say? 27, 24. Actually, you want to read it?
Yes. Those who have too many friends are... Oh, I was going to try to do it.
Do it.
I was going to try to paraphrase it. Those who have too many friends are pretty much destined to ruins, but there is one that sticks closer than a brother.
I like the NLT. There are friends who destroy each other, but a real friend sticks closer than a brother.
You know what's something actually I thought of that wasn't in my teaching this morning, but because I just, when you just start adding things because you're like, oh my gosh, maybe I don't have enough. Like,
Every false religion.
No. Like adding things to my notes.
I thought you meant like adding stuff to the Bible.
No, adding things to my notes is so because I was reading out of the NASB and it says like a person with too many friends is destined to ruins, pretty much, and it just got me thinking because when you have so many friends or so many people that have voices in your life that are all differing opinions, that's a scary place to be in, actually. That
really
have genuine access to you, you know, like their voice has weight in your life. When you have like, let's just take, for example, you maybe have 50 friends, like close friend, like that's 50 different opinions, 50 different ways of living, 50 different just ideologies and two senses and all these things, where then the word of God says, but there is one that sticks closer than a brother. And it just indicates to me that that's the voice we should be listening to. That wasn't like anything that was really having to do with what we're probably going to go into, but yeah, I don't know.
I think there's a lot of practical reasons why we even see, looking at Jesus, how he obviously had 12 disciples, but you know, there of the 12, he had his three core.
Yeah.
And I think there's Proverbs is a book of wisdom, and I think that the best person to.
I'm sorry, I don't know what.
I didn't even know what you did.
I said Peter, James, and John.
Sometimes I just tune like little songs that you do.
I know. Okay, I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
I'm tired. That's what this is. What this is.
I bet you Bella laughed at that. She's probably laughing at it because I just said that she's laughing at it.
Okay.
I'm very meta like that. My brain works like that. What was I saying?
Meta, Sigma. What?
I don't think meta has nothing to do with Sigma or Skibbity or none of that.
Anyways, I'm so sorry. I've distracted this whole moment.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So Proverbs is a book about wisdom, and the person that embodies wisdom is Jesus on earth. So us learning how Jesus lived on his time on earth with us is a good indication of how we should do things. Having people, not many people that are really, really close, because there's a practical reason why 50 close friends doesn't work. You just don't have time for everyone's life. Yeah. Like you only have limited time in your own day for the stuff that you're going through. The point of having a close friend is to do life with them and to share grievances and to rely on each other and to divulge certain stuff that's going on in your life. They divulge stuff that's going on in their life, and you guys pray for each other. It's just impossible to do that with 50 close friends.
I just got this like mental picture of like, because like the whole iron sharpening iron. Oh my God. Don't laugh at me.
What?
I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
I'm like,
drink more coffee.
Yeah. Anyways, iron sharpening iron. Like if you are one sword being sharpened by 50 swords, that piece of iron or that knife or that like sword is literally going to break. It's going to be destroyed because that's just too much of one thing. Where like when you have the balanced, like you're doing life together, you're iron sharpening iron, but it's balanced. It's not too much and it's not like out of moderation kind of thing. Like, you know,
I think there's also the element of it too, is that not every sword is sharp of those 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not every friend you can possibly have, they're not all going to be beneficial. Like,
look at us, just two tired brains speaking truth right now.
Like you're not every sword of your friends is sharp.
Exactly. Those dull ones, those ones that are not the sharpest tool in the shed, and they be creating these little nicks and grooves in your edge, cutting you up, tearing you down, and then you broke. Because actually in the original language of this verse, it says too many friends lead a person to ruins. That word ruins means to break. That's what it means. And then the word, but there is a friend, that word a friend actually in the language is love. So that's who's the only embodiment, who is the only being that embodies and who is love. And that's how we indicate that God is our closest friend. God is our closest friend that's closer than a brother. So yeah.
Listen, this is for somebody out there. You got too many friends. You feel like no one's on your side. It's because you're not focusing on the right people.
You're not focusing on the truest of friends.
Exactly. And maybe the people you got around you, the people that you're relying on, maybe aren't sharpening you. Maybe they're not. Yeah. They're not really meant to be there, and you have to do a self-evaluation hey, who are the people that are actually bringing me up, and who do I feel I'm staying stagnant with? I'm plateauing with certain people.
And I
I
think
don't really go anywhere.
something that just in culture, like you can friend somebody on Facebook, you can friend somebody on Instagram. Oh, I'm friends with them online on social media. Like I feel like a similar thing with the word love, like we use it so loosely and with everything. I think that we have done that with friendship, with the word friend, with what a friend means, because a friend to me is not just an acquaintance. It's not just somebody, I can enjoy time with, but I'm not divulging my personal life with them in a way that gives them access to holding weight on maybe certain life decisions that I have, or, like the direction of where I am trying to go in life, or a friend is someone who knows all those things. Like a friend just is limited access to me.
And I think that alongside with that, you just have to evaluate that sometimes there are relationships that they're bang, we're back. Camera died.
Love that.
But good thing is we were able to see in time. We didn't talk for 30 more minutes before we noticed.
Yeah.
So that's happened before.
To me.
That's happened before. There have been entire recordings where the audio was just distorted. It's just that's all you hear.
It's because I set these things up so quick for my stuff. It's not the best, but it's in progress,
Anyways, last thing I was saying was I forgot actually. Friends.
There's different types of friends. There's different types of relationships.
There's different types of relationships that you can have with friends. Some relationships are going to be giving relationships, and you just have
relationships.
Yeah. Relationships. And some of them are giving relationships, and you just have to count the cost ahead of time, and you know that this is an investment on your behalf to help somebody. But that can't be all your relationships. Not your whole. You can't just be surrounded by people that are just leeching off of you, and you never get anything in return. And when I say things in return, I think I've noticed this about people. I think people can fool themselves by thinking, well, that person's like, we laugh together, we have a good time together. That's not really what I'm talking about. A real relationship is not just, and I think you were just talking about this, it's not just having fun with each other. There has to be another level of, for lack of better words, intimacy. But I think it's the right word, I think, in some senses. It's
vulnerability. Yeah. All those things.
And you being able to rely on them in ways that you can't really rely on other people. I think that's often overlooked, and that is just as important, actually more important than just having a person, is having a person that you can actually rely on and talk to.
And the whole, at least this morning, the whole point that I was making was even with the best of friendships, even with your best friend, or even the relationship one might have with a boyfriend or girlfriend or a spouse or their parents, at some point or another, that person is going to fail you. They're going to let you down. They're going to disappoint you in some way. You're maybe going to feel slighted by them or hurt by them. And you're going to be like, well, that's the person I go to for everything, or that's the person I would talk to about this, or, what does that force you to do? It forces you to lean on something other than the things of this world. And it forces you to lean on your greatest friend, and that should be the Lord. And relationships highlight our dependency that we have to lean on other things. So when, I know I'm
she leaning.
But it really highlights our dependency just in general, because we are dependent human beings, all of us, whether we realize it or not. You could be the most independent person, but you are still dependent.
In some sense, yeah.
You're still depending all on yourself, and that's misguided in a way. But it highlights then our need for the Lord. and for something that is not in our own strength. And so leaning happens when your own strength isn't enough, when your own abilities aren't enough, or the strength and abilities of those around you aren't enough. You have to learn to lean on the Lord.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to add.
Yeah,
to that.
I'm gonna pull up something.
There's a couple scriptures obviously that come to mind when you think about that. Mainly like God will never forsake us. And David wrote, "I was young, now I'm old. I've never seen the righteous forsaken." There is a consistency and a dependability that comes with God by his nature.
Yeah.
It's not something he has to try to do. It's just who he is. And that's the difference that I think you were just highlighting between God and humans. Like, we have to try to do these things. We have to it has to, and a lot of times there's sacrifices, but this is just who God is.
Yeah.
Which
he's
is why
and absolute.
He's the closest friend. He just is dependable. And he just is faithful. Like, he gives those words its meaning.
Even in the verse Proverbs 18:24, I can't see it because the screen is so small. When it says a man of too many friends comes to ruins, but there is like that, in the original language, it's talking about a being, a substance, an existence. But when you click on the root, like the word itself and the definition of it, the use of it in this context it's absolute. It's not indefinite. It's an absolute thing. So, because a lot of times people will be like, oh, maybe that's great for them or that's true for them. It's like, no, this is an absolute truth. So, and something that I had written down here from this morning was I had the kids repeat this is leaning is allowing. Leaning is allowing the empowerment of his spirit to be your fill in the blank. When you vent to your friends and you vent to maybe family members or your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever it is, you're looking to draw something from them. You're looking to draw maybe strength from that conversation or joy or happiness from that conversation or just relief or contentment or, you're searching for something. So even in the best of relationships, and that's fine. You need people to be able to go to. Don't hear what we're not saying. Like, you absolutely need the right people in your life to lean on as well in this life, but God needs to be first. And that's the point of this conversation is God needs to be your closest, your truest, best friend and first friend. And then everything else should trickle out as a result of that being your closest relationship, because leaning is allowing his spirit to empower you with fill in the blank. It's like literally like whatever you are needing, whatever you are lacking, whatever you are searching for and seeking, fill in the blank, lean on his spirit to fulfill that for you.
Right. And I think that's the key, because maybe you're asking yourself, well, how do I make God my best friend? That's it. Lean on him.
Yeah.
Like in any way that you would want a friend
add him to the group chat
in real life. Yeah. Right. In any way you would want a real friend to be there for you.
Yeah.
Put God in that place. Like, I'm feeling down. I need someone to talk to. Lean on God.
Yeah. And a lot of times, and again, like this,
like, oh, I need advice. I'm going through something. I need some advice. Go to God. Go to his word. Like,
the teaching from this morning, it was really geared towards just having a conversation with God. Like, and one of the points I said was talk to God like he's real. It seems so elementary, but a lot of times we don't talk to God like he's a real being, like he's a person. Like, we just talk to him like in this very distant way, or like we think that we have to be so prepared and perfect and structured and like, oh, well, I need to I can't say the wrong thing. Like if I'm praying to the Lord or talking to the Lord, like, have any of you read the Psalms? Like, have we read the Psalms?
I read read them.
David be all over the place. And what we can learn from that is the transparency and the vulnerability of he was very real and raw before the Lord. He wasn't afraid to, express to the Lord his frustrations or his depressions or whatever they were. Like, he was just venting to his bestie. Like, that's what he was doing.
But I also love how he always turns
But
it
he
around.
did always turn around. He was like,
Yeah.
but
And then-
actually, I love you, Lord. And thank
Right.
you. You are so good forever and always. Amen.
And I think that's the point of
Yes.
of like imagine just going to a friend and all you do is like you're a leech off of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But that's because when he invited God into the chat, his heart started to change, or his emotions started to change. Things started to change.
right. And then your natural response
good.
is afterwards is to give him thanks, is to praise him. That's just a natural, normal response to being around God, because you start to see the fruits of making him your closest friend, him the center, him the focus of everything that you do. Because
you can vent to your friend, you can vent to all these other people in this world, and still actually leave that conversation feeling the exact same. Yeah. Feeling stuck in the same situation. Nothing's actually changed. Where if you go with that same conversation to the Lord, you can absolutely leave different. And if you are coming before him just genuinely real and seeking after him, like, you will leave different. Like, you will leave feeling uplifted, feeling joyful, feeling a spirit of hope just like well up within you, like all of those things. And maybe the situation in the physical like has not maybe necessarily like changed yet, but like your being, your state of being changes. Yeah. And that's the difference.
And that's the difference.
And that's the episode. No, we got to do rate that song really quick. Okay.
I feel like my yawns are getting increasingly closer to each other. Like, I feel like before they were like 5 minutes apart. Now it's like 2.
All right. I'm literally just pulling up the last song that was playing on my phone.
Is it Always Good by Faith Worship?
No.
You are good. Wait, what is it? You are good. Ooh, that's a vibe already. What song is this? I don't think I know this one.
Make some noise if you know you're blessed.
Who is this?
Wait for it.
Oh. Blessed. Oh, this is that. I know now. This is that that song that he does with Aaron Lindsay. Yeah, I know what it is. Now that I heard his voice more. All right, I have my rating. Whoa, chord changes.
Okay. All right.
I like it. I think so. I'm gonna give it a okay rating. It's like an 8.2. And the reason it's an 8.2 is because I just can't get over the original. I like the original. No. Uppity.
Just standing alone
that's what I was gonna
on
say.
its own.
That was my rating in comparison to the original.
Okay.
I would be curious how that song would sound a little bit sped up, like a couple BPM quicker, Like,
it'll be, very good.
But as it stands, I would give it an 8.9.
An 8.9?
What did I give a 9 point something to?
I don't remember.
All right, 9.2. Just because I feel like I gave something a 9, and I don't remember. It's not memorable enough for me to remember it right now.
Oh, that's funny.
So this is 9.2.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. That's it
on
for
its
today.
Own. Remember, 9.2 on its own, 8.3 in comparison to the original song. If you guys have not heard, though, on YouTube, there's a video of Fred Hammond doing a live concert in a church. It's an old video.
It is
old
very
video.
good.
And he does a remix of his version, the sped up version, or the fast one of Blessed. And it's fire. And it's fire because some of the music is different. I like some of the rhythmic stuff. But also, freaking Stevie Wonder comes up. And he starts. Stevie Wonder starts singing "Blessed" with Fred Hammond, and he does that, and it cracks me up, and I love it.
All right,
check it out, YouTube, Fred Hammond, "Blessed."
And each step you